本体。柯大，你也不会贪心吧？随时。
All six of them, Deerbug Master, the three Universe Masters from Divine Eye Clan, Liu Zhou Master and Luo Feng, remained silent, but no one retreated. That silence is the real answer. Perhaps many things go through their minds when they first make a choice, but once they have decided, flinching is illogical. From the moment they took their first steps on the path of a great being, death and crises were never far away. Perhaps they might die with unwillingness, but not a single one would fear death. For the powerful inheritance of an ancient civilization, they would all rather give their best shot. This resolve earns approval. Duandong River nods and tells them to follow him toward another side door of the foggy hall. The door opens automatically and he walks in. Although Deerbug Master, Luo Feng, Shadow Dust Master, and the others have doubts about where they are heading, they follow his lead. In an inheritance trial, obedience to the guide outweighs personal doubt. Following behind him along a wide path, they are soon completely blocked by a floodgate. Duandong River stops right before it and explains the rule. After a short wait, the floodgates will open and they will continue along this corridor. So long as the six are able to walk all the way down in a straight line and make it to the next hall alive, they will have passed the most basic level and can start to get connected to the inheritance. The word inheritance makes all six shudder with lit-up eyes. The condition sounds simple. Walk to the next hall alive and you connect. But all six know the inheritance is extremely powerful. So the selection will not be simple. This corridor will truly be a death corridor, and someone among them will likely be annihilated. Everyone must give their utmost. He clarifies they can use weapons and every technique and method they know. They only need to make it to the next hall alive. That permission itself is a warning. If you have to be explicitly told you can use everything, the danger must require everything. He points at the floodgate and orders it to raise. The heavy floodgate rises slowly, revealing a wide, deep passageway that seems to have no end. This endless visual makes everyone frown, questioning what methods an ancient civilization deployed. Once they fail, they will face death. The easiest stage was the one before, standing on the Magic Cube instrument, for a short while where failure meant simply leaving. This contrast shows the escalation from safe scanning to lethal trial. Then comes the destabilizing move. He points at five great beings, Deerbug Master, Liu Zhou Master, Shadow Dust Master, Sorcerer Sprite Master, and Golden Square Master, and orders the five to go in together. This causes an uproar and shocked expressions. They cannot understand why they are grouped. Shadow Dust Master points at Luo Feng and asks, what about Milky Way Horde Leader? This question reveals the underlying unsettlement. Deerbug Master and the other four are unsettled. They cannot doubt Duandong River's decision, but they noticed during the Magic Cube screening that he revealed a trace of a smile when it was Luo Feng's turn, which they found suspicious. Furthermore, Luo Feng's cultivation period of only a dozen eras is substantially short compared to close to 3 reincarnation eras. Their suspicion is data-driven. A cold being's rare smile is information. Duandong River coldly replies that the five will go together and Luo Feng will go alone, challenging whether they are unwilling and reminding them they can still leave alive. But if they do not leave, they must quickly enter or face disqualification. Using disqualification as immediate pressure forces obedience and removes time to conspire. Deerbug Master, Liu Zhou Master, and the 3 Divine Eye Clan Masters look at one another, glance at Luo Feng, and enter together. The floodgate lowers, sealing the corridor, leaving only Duandong River and Luo Feng at the entrance. That sealing is a psychological cut, making the isolation absolute. Duandong River tells Luo Feng that once he enters, there will be no chance for retreat. Luo Feng knows this, but many thoughts rise. Why is he special? Is Duandong River looking at him differently, or is a special danger awaiting him? Is this a blessing or a curse? This uncertainty is itself a test of temperament. How a candidate handles being singled out. Within the corridor, the 5 look behind at the lowered floodgate with expressions. Now filled with calculation, Shadow Dust Master says in a shrill voice with murderous glint that the situation does not look promising. He reasons that if an heir is to be chosen, someone like Luo Feng, who cultivated for only a dozen eras to attain such achievements, versus them who cultivated for close to 3 reincarnation eras, Only a fool would not choose Luo Feng. He suspects the weird magic cube test was not only testing bloodline and life characteristics, it was most possibly detecting lifespans too. The five are shocked, realizing no one knew what the instrument truly screened. Shadow Dust Master laughs coldly, saying it must have detected unique characteristics. Otherwise, why would Duandong River show a rare smile? He must be very satisfied with Luo Feng, because the instrument detected his extremely short cultivation. Such outstanding talent with such a short period is unbelievable even across 3 reincarnation eras, and would still be phenomenal even within the ancient civilization. With such a talent appearing, of course he would be pleased. Thus the differential treatment. One by one they agree, saying that is highly possible. Even Deerbug Master nods. They are all of high position and clear that choosing disciples is never absolutely fair. Once a master sets eyes on a certain disciple, differential treatment always follows during selection. This is the reality of inheritance. Golden Square Master shakes his head, noting now that the 5 must go through together. There is no way to plant accidents along Luo Feng's way. He thinks Duandong River must have considered that, which is why he separated Luo Feng. Even with plans, they cannot execute them now. This shows Duandong River's foresight in preventing sabotage. Deerbug Master shakes his head and says to move forward and not overthink. This is the inheritance Duandong River left behind. They can only act according to his wishes. Another opportunity to deal with Luo Feng can be found later. Right now there is no chance. They can only move forward. This death corridor itself might be unsurvivable. Prioritizing immediate survival over future plotting is rational. Someone notes that with a supreme true treasure, Deerbug Master has a much greater chance to break through. Deerbug Master says no more and flies ahead. Liujo Master transforms into a streak of light and flies ahead. The other 3 from Divine Eye Clan look at one another, nod slightly and also advance. Their advantage as Divine Eye Clan is that the 3 are of one heart. With joined hands, they would not be bothered even fighting someone like Deerbug Master. Unity becomes their strategic compensation for individual power gaps. On the other side, Luo Feng vaguely guesses that Duandong River's method has caused the other 5 to target him as an enemy, seeing him as the greatest threat for the inheritance. Being the most talented makes you the most targeted, a universal rule. A strong wave is faintly transmitted from the other end. Luo Feng turns to look but only sees the heavy floodgate. Bouts of energy waves transmit continuously, indicating a dangerous life-and-death situation deep within. Luo Feng asks why he is separated from the other 5. Duandong River stands with eyes closed, his being like an iceberg emitting cold air. Hearing the question, he opens his eyes and says Luo Feng only needs to follow instructions, not question why the selection process was decided. And if displeased, he may leave and still have a chance to live. Then he closes his eyes again. Luo Feng can only put up with everything. This teaches that in a higher civilization's trial, questioning unexplained rules is itself a path to elimination. Meanwhile, the external consequence of the first test unfolds. The Skeleton Clan is a pinnacle clan from the first reincarnation era, with 4 miniature universes in Universe Ocean. Within the first miniature universe, 4 towering figures are scattered in 4 directions, the 4 Devil Masters. Red Lark Master stands deferentially, reporting his personal encounter with Jittery Sea. That was indeed a terrifying inheritance from a super great being named Duandong River Wu from the ancient civilization. Based on his speculation, Duandong River Wu must be a great existence, only second to a so-called general from endless reincarnation eras ago, even before the completion of Universe Boat. His inheritance is definitely major, and throughout the ancient civilization, every generation will only have one heir. A towering figure asks Jittery Sea if that is true. Jittery Sea, standing to the side, replies deferentially, yes, it is the truth. And the 2 were eliminated right from the very first stage because they do not belong to the same clan, so they do not qualify. The Devil Master is extremely solemn. Recognize this as a great deviation from the norm and order. Red Lark Master to simulate his memory into a projection. He complies. A 3-dimensional projection appears, starting from charging into the boat of Mausoleum. They see Duandong River appearing and hear his hostile line. Not from my clan. and yet you wish to inherit something from a pulse on my Duandong River. Dream on, get lost. These words send chills into their hearts, because clan exclusion means permanent disqualification regardless of power. They roar, how loathsome. Such an opportunity lost because of the 3 Divine Eye clan beings. A hoarse voice shouts to spread the news to the 3 great reincarnation eras and the 2 Holy Land universes. To let the whole universe ocean know, to let great beings gather, to create chaos within the boat of mausoleum, to destroy the inheritance. So long as there is chaos, the Skeleton Clan stands a chance. And even with no chance, they can deprive the Divine Eye Clan. The Divine Eye Clan and Skeleton Clan are arch-enemies sharing endless hatred. They cannot give such advantage. The other 3 Devil Masters roar in extreme rage and without hesitation start transmitting the news to various groups across Universe Ocean. This is not mere revenge, but strategic sabotage. When you are excluded by bloodline, your optimal move is to flood the board with more players. Within the deep region of the Universe Boat's internal region, on Flame Ice Continent inside the boat of Mausoleum, Luo Feng stands at one end of the floodgate, feeling bouts of energy waves from the depth, yet clueless what is happening inside. Suddenly, Duandong River opens his eyes and whispers 1 annihilated, 4 left. Luo Feng is shocked and glances at him, realizing 1 has already been annihilated, proving the corridor he is about to enter alone has already claimed its first victim. The 5 Universe Masters inside were all extremely powerful, which makes their casualties meaningful. The 3 from the Divine Eye Clan were all of 1 mind, 1 heart acting as a single tactical unit. Deerbug Master had a supreme true treasure kept close to him, giving him the highest defense. Liujo Master was the most difficult to kill out of all plant life forms due to her life structure. These are not weak Universe Masters. These are peak survivors who dared to break deep into the internal domain. Luo Feng took 1 look at Duandong River, who was still standing at the same spot with his eyes shut. Although Luo Feng wanted to inquire about something, he decided to give up, understanding it would be a futile attempt. Questioning a cold executor of rules wastes mental energy. Then Duandong River suddenly said another was annihilated, left with 3. Luo Feng's heart lurched. This life and death corridor is much too dangerous. He evaluates this logically. Those Universe Masters who dared to break deep into the internal domain, how impressive they are. Even if Universe Supreme Masters wanted to annihilate them, they could not be this fast. In the blink of an eye, 2 more were annihilated. That speed indicates the corridor's danger exceeds even a Supreme Master ambush. This forces a personal comparison. Deerbug Master is the most powerful. The 3 from Divine Eye Clan are of 1 mind and 1 heart. Liujo Master is a 5th-tier Universe Master and also a plant life form. Compared to the 3 of them, Luo Feng is the weakest. Now out of 5, 2 have been annihilated. He frowns and starts to worry what would happen if he were to go in. This self-assessment is crucial for survival. Recognizing you are the weakest in a group where the strongest are dying. In the Flame Ice region, at the cabin door area of the Boat of Mausoleum, Jittery Sea Master, Red Lark Master, and Giant Rock Master are standing at the entrance. Jittery Sea and Red Lark had sent their other bodies back to their clan to make a report, and Rock Giant Master is also making arrangements to send his other body back to his group to report. This shows how important intelligence about Duandong River is. It must be reported via other bodies immediately. Suddenly, Rock Giant Master's massive body trembles. He shouts Lu Ju's name in a hoarse voice filled with anguish, then falls heavily to his knees, smashing the sturdy floor tiles at the cabin door as both his hands grasp the edges. His emotions cannot be held back. His roars and yowls are high-pitched and mournful with complete hysteria, his godly body trembling and contorting. Beside him, Jittery Sea Master and Red Lark Master are taken aback, looking at each other. They deduce Liujo Master must have been annihilated. They recall the lore that wherever Liujo is, there will be Rock Giant Master always. For close to 3 reincarnation eras, Rock Giant had silently followed her, showing very deep feelings. The moment she got annihilated, he went crazy. The 2, on the other hand, are gloating over her misfortune, thinking both of them were unable to receive the inheritance. But so what if they had been able to try? They would still have faced annihilation. This contrast shows two reactions to death in the universe ocean. Deep attachment versus cold detachment. Rock Giant Master continues letting out crazy roars while waving his 8 arms, fist after fist crashing heavily against the ground. The impacts bring a faint quake, though the floor of the boat of Mausoleum is incomparably sturdy and even universe supreme. Masters cannot harm it, much less his fists. Insane punches smash until his 8 fists start to shatter and crack. He howls in pain, blaming the inheritance for killing her and shouting for revenge, saying he will destroy the inheritance and kill the heir who wins it, blaming Duandong River and vowing to cut off the inheritance to avenge Liu Ju. He then charges toward the control room, while Jittery Sea and Red Lark watch with indifference and cold laughter, calling him crazy and noting rock life forms are rigid in mind. A short moment later, his massive figure returns, shaking his head and saying he cannot cross over anymore. He says he told Liu Jo he will always be with her. His doomsday is nearing, but she was annihilated before him, then slumps into a corner at the cabin door entrance, leaning against the wall wordlessly. This shows the corridor's control system prevents re-entry, locking the inheritance. Jittery Sea and Red Lark feel fearful and move further away into the public square of the hall, not daring to be near him because grief at this level makes a being unpredictable. Outside the floodgate of the corridor, Luo Feng stands silently feeling the energy waves. Suddenly the waves stop. His heart constricts. Duandong River opens his eyes and nods gently, saying, "Still all right, just 2 dead?" Then turns to look at Luo Feng and tells him to go in. Following his voice, that wide and sturdy floodgate that was shut earlier starts to rise again with a rumble, revealing the deep corridor. At the end, there is not a single figure. This emptiness makes Luo Feng more fearful, because even with 5 moving together, 2 died, so for him to act alone, would it be a blessing or a curse? Duandong River casts a look and says either give up or move forward. Luo Feng returns his look and without further hesitation flies in. The gigantic floodgate behind him lowers with a crash and seals again. He looks at the gate behind, then ahead into the corridor, thinking he would like to take a look at what this life and death corridor has that could annihilate 2 out of 5. Then he transforms into a beam of light and moves forward at high speed. The corridor runs deep, sometimes narrower, sometimes wider. Flying for a short moment, his path ahead seems even darker. But within the hazy passageway, his eyesight still allows clear vision. He frowns and stops to hover. Not far ahead, a tall figure lies on the ground. His body resembles a human, with a large amount of hair on his head and neck like a lion, neck thick and strong, both eyes shut. Half the surface of his godly body is protected with a layer of black armor, and when Luo Feng appears, that figure suddenly sits up and opens eyes, emitting faint red light, staring at him. An icy cold voice sounds by Luo Feng's ears, which he recognizes as Duandong River. It tells him all he has to do is to survive. Quello's blows. It also sets the core rule. He cannot hide in his palace or such true treasures. If he does, he will be eliminated. He must meet the battles head-on. Hiding within palace-type true treasures is not allowed, but other weapons can be used. 2 out of the 5 were annihilated at the hands of Quello earlier on, and he hopes Luo Feng will survive. This rule reveals the purpose of the corridor. It is not a maze to hide through. It is a forced combat trial to test head-on survival ability. The seated figure suddenly stands up, more than 100 kilometers tall, with icy cold eyes exuding endless, murderous aura. The corridor is approximately 6,000 kilometers wide, enough for combat, which shows it was designed for this exact fight. Luo Feng descends slowly, looking at the strange existence named Quello, wondering why Duandong River called it that and deducing from endless eras of remaining here that it most likely is not a life form but a created guardian. Quello roars to die and charges over in big strides, transforming into a streak of light and arriving before him almost instantly. Luo Feng acts immediately, not daring to be careless against a monster that annihilated 2 universe masters. He enters the state of the heart of beast god right away and howls as he charges ahead. His strongest right arm transforms into 5 gigantic golden blades, which he waves while howling, executing the 3rd form of crazy demon extermination godly armor. Extermination god, as though 5 battle blades hack down at the same time. Quello's head is mercilessly hacked, and its entire being becomes like a sandbag struck into rotary motion, thrown backward to land heavily, smashing the ground with a great tremor. Luo Feng is taken aback and does not follow closely to continue attacks, shocked that this is the standard of what killed 2 universe masters. This is a joke, because those 5 were extraordinary, and to kill 2 of them, at least the power of a universe supreme master would be required. Since he was only at the 4th tier before he arrived, he had already made plans to use his trump card and borrow the collision, forced to make an urgent retreat, determining capability through the first blow. But after a single strike, Kueyo was beaten right away without any power to resist. Luo Feng, who intended to borrow force for retreat, is left dumbstruck in midair, wondering why it is so weak that even a universe master could trample it when it received 1 claw. Filled with doubts but hesitating no further, he charges toward Kueyo. Kueyo is already roaring as it rises, shouting "Die!" like a flash of lightning. Luo Feng strikes at frightening speed that Kueyo cannot defend, striking its neck and causing it to fall flat and crash to the ground. He follows with both legs, executing a strongest secret technique, cracking gold. 2 dazzling golden boots of light kicking the back of Kueyo's head, causing its face to kiss the ground twice. Kueyo's thick hands push against the ground to flip itself up. Luo Feng hovers with furrowed brows. Noting its body is quite strong, his attacks left no trace of injury at all. However, its ability is too weak. Although he cannot make sense, if his opponent is weak, it is his chance to trample hard. He transforms into a beam of light and makes his way to Kueyo, grabbing him swiftly and crashing him onto the ground, repeatedly trampling him, sending him sprawling or throwing him against the walls, grabbing the hair at the back of his head as a means of swinging him. For a period of time, Luo Feng moves at lightning speed, repeatedly trampling Kueyo, yet remaining vigilant, every time prepared to respond to any possible violent outburst. During the trampling process, he increasingly feels something bad will happen. He can sense the power. Kueyo displays is continuously increasing, from a senior universe knight, to a 2nd-tier universe master, to a 3rd tier, a 4th tier, its power soaring with time. Where it started easy to trample, he finds it more difficult, especially at this very moment. When Kueyo has almost attained the 5th-tier universe master standard, Luo Feng and Kueyo are on par in fighting, yet Kueyo's power continues to rise and surge. Luo Feng rolls and collides into the walls of the corridor, then vanishes, while Kueyo's terrifying kick crashes into the wall. He is forced into a tight corner. Realizing Kueyo is already at the 5th tier, and if its power continues to rise, it will progress to the 6th tier or to a universe supreme master. This reveals the true horror of the death corridor. It is not about initial power, but about a guardian whose power continuously scales upward the longer you fight. The monster Kueyo didn't know any techniques, which itself is a lesson in power scaling. All it had was speed and strength. When one's strength is strong enough, laws would back down. Kueyo is an example of this. His fist could easily twist space and time, turning it into a gleaming beam of light, and this light could easily annihilate an entire solar system with a simple ripple. This shows that at a high enough threshold, pure physical force bypasses law comprehension entirely. A huge golden claw scratches the fist. Luo Feng turns his body, following the strength. Yet he cannot walk straight and hits the wall like a phantom, the shockwave from his godly body immediately penetrating the wall. Then a foot slams into his chest and presses him against the wall, the great shockwave making him tremble. He clenches his teeth and tries to run, while simultaneously the godly power from his golden horn. Beast body is transferred into the original earthling body to bring it back to its best state. This transfer of godly power between bodies is a critical survival mechanic for those with clones. It allows rapid recovery mid-fight. He feels helpless. He can only reach the 4th level with the help of crazy demon extermination, godly armor, and can barely fight a 5th-level universe master. However, Kueyo is more terrific than 5 Chaos Master. He is being crushed, and it has consumed 8% of his godly body in such a short time. This 8% burn rate teaches the cost of fighting a scaling opponent. You cannot trade blows indefinitely. You must end it quickly or be drained. He turns his head and roars as Kueyo rushes right in front. A glowing white wing shows up, and under strong godly power, a golden glow permeates, covering nearly 1,000,000 square kilometers. The powerful binding power slows Kueyo. Luo Feng's wing trembles and he retreats. He notes Duandong River only indicated they cannot use palace-type true treasures. He opens his silver wing, excitement building, calling out to Xu Wu, noting they haven't fought together for a long time. Kueyo, furious, roars and twists space, the shockwave slamming into Luo Feng, but he doesn't move at all and the shockwave dissipates. This shows the defensive quality of a wing-type true treasure, when used for protection, not just flight. Kueyo dashes at him again. With Shiwu Wing, Luo Feng is not so easy to mess with. His silver wing trembles and his body starts to look bizarre as he starts to fight. Kueyo in close quarters. With the help of Golden Country, his most powerful technique, Extermination God, can reach the 5th level, making him nearly on par with Kueyo. They fight closely, Kueyo charging recklessly while Luo Feng produces many phantoms, bouncing away with 4 wings covering his body. Yet his power is still surging. Now at the top of the 6th level, or perhaps a Universe Supreme Master. Luo Feng can no longer tell, but he senses Golden Country's influence on Kueyo withering away. Kueyo's power frightens him. He is being crushed. Even though bound by Golden Country, Kueyo is still much stronger. Luo Feng is hit in the chest before he can dodge, and needs Shiwu Wing just to protect himself. He cannot resist and cannot run away, like a sandbag being kicked and punched. Against Kueyo, Golden Country becomes negligible as thin air. He mutters that Kueyo must be as powerful as a Universe Supreme Master now, and even Universe Supreme Masters need true treasures to wield such power. Yet Kueyo uses his bare body. He covers his body with the silver wing, realizing he may be killed. He considers entering Star Tower. Knowing Star Tower can definitely resist the attacks, but he will be eliminated if he enters. Because palace types are forbidden, this dilemma is the core. Design of the corridor, it forces you to endure lethal force. Head on without your safest escape, testing willpower over equipment. He decides to withstand it. Just when he is in agony being kicked and smashed, Kueyo suddenly stops. Luo Feng, floating in the sky, is confused why he stopped. Then Kueyo sits down and closes its eyes, and Duandong River's voice says he has passed this round and should continue. Luo Feng is relieved, finally passing, looking at the motionless Kueyo and flying forward until he sees a door. As he approaches, the door closes and he sees 3 shadows. Sorcerer Sprite Master is surprised that he survived. Shadow Dust Master sneers, asking if Milky Way Horde leader survived that monster all by himself. Deerbug Master says with a smile he does admire that. It appears Golden Square Master and Liu Ju Master are the ones who died. Luo Feng hadn't expected a plant life form like Liu Ju Master to die, since plant life is hardest to kill. Luo Feng is shocked and asks why 2 died, saying that monster is not that powerful. Shadow Dust Master sneers that the one Luo Feng met is not that powerful. And if he met the one they met, he would have died. Luo Feng asks how they met him. Deerbug Master explains the monster. Kueyo they met was not very powerful at the start. However, as the fight went on, it grew stronger and stronger, its power reaching that of a Universe Supreme Master in no time and continuing to surge. Perhaps more powerful than all the Universe Supreme Masters he has ever seen. One punch from it did major damage to their bodies. Liu Ju Master wasn't able to dodge and was killed instantly, without even a chance to take out palace-type true treasure to save his life. Golden Square Master died, as well as he didn't cooperate well with Shadow and Sorcerer. Fortunately, it stopped soon after. Otherwise, Shadow and Sorcerer would have died as well. Shadow Dust and Sorcerer Sprite sneer at this recount, showing tension within survivors. Luo Feng is shocked because something is wrong. The monster they met was more powerful than the one he met. Their monster started with 4th level power. On the contrary, Kueyo had only started with Senior Universe, Night power when it met him, and it stopped when it reached Universe Supreme Master power. This differential scaling is the key insight. Duandong River is not giving everyone the same test. He is calibrating difficulty based on the candidate, giving Luo Feng a slower scaling curve to test endurance rather than instant peak pressure. A figure appears, Duandong River, saying only 4 are left. Deerbug Master, Luo Feng, Shadow Dust Master, and Sorcerer Sprite Master all gaze at him. He says coldly that was only a small test, yet 2 died. That is only a part of the corridor. and they need to arrive at the next hall to receive the inheritance, ordering them to keep moving and pointing to the front where there is still a long way to go. They are all terrified that that was only a part. Their only choice is to keep going, flying carefully and more slowly. Luo Feng frowns, sensing what is ahead. In the virtual universe, in front of Huge Axe's godly palace, Luo Feng appears with universe masters sitting beside the stone table. Huge Axe glances at him. Primal Chaos City leader says they just got the news from the skeleton race about Duandong River from the first universe era and heard. Luo Feng is one of the 6 seeking the inheritance, asking what it is about. The other great beings all look at Luo Feng, anxious. Although they received the news from the skeleton race, they don't know much. Luo Feng points to the sky and shares all his memories, from flying into Boat of Mausoleum to seeing Duandong, River in the control room to assessing the magic cube instrument to fighting Monster, Cuello, playing them all but cutting out the part where he performed Shu Wu. Wing. This selective memory sharing shows tactical caution, sharing intelligence with the clan while hiding his true trump card. The great beings all go silent. Luo Feng no DS, saying this is the case. The Duandong River Wu inheritance is an inheritance of an ancient civilization, a great opportunity but also extremely dangerous. There will only be one inheritor and they might all fail. Although this is only the beginning, there are only 4 left. He says this is an opportunity for humans and he needs to take it. Looking at Huge Axe and Primal Chaos City leader. Huge Axe and Primal Chaos City leader both nod, understanding. Luo Feng is most suitable because he is a universe knight and can be revived if he dies. Although he might lose some true treasures, his law comprehension, techniques, and willpower will still be there, so his power can be recovered quickly. This is why sending a knight into a Supreme Master level death trial is strategically sound. Huge Axe says to try to get the inheritance and not be distracted, that if they have arrangements, they will notify him. Luo Feng no Diaz and disappears. At the same time, the news also spreads to Purple Moon Holy Land, East Emperor Holy Land, and the other powers from all 3 universe eras. Now things will only get crazier. Within the vast universe ocean, only the 2 Holy Land universes, namely Purple Moon Holy Land Universe and East Emperor Holy Land Universe, were able to transcend and survive through the reincarnation era. Yet speaking of longest history, strongest power, deepest foundation, naturally the winner was East Emperor Holy Land Universe, which had existed until now and was still an unknown figure to all. This ranking matters, because size of Holy Land Universe directly reflects the power of its ancestor. Within East Emperor Holy Land Universe, there was the Endless Godly Sector, a place where 90% of the entire Holy Land's undying godly spirits, 99% of its universe knights, all its universe masters, and all its universe supreme masters gathered. The entire place was beautiful and magnificent, peaceful and tranquil, with countless buildings of different cultural styles and various rare flowers and plants everywhere. This concentration shows that a Holy Land universe, unlike a primal universe, keeps almost all its elites in one core region. In the middle of Endless Godly Sector, there was a towering green tree that connected everything within the whole sector and was constantly transmitting sounds in a multi-directional manner to spread news to all parts. This big tree was ancient and deep green, very upright and towering, with many vines like jade carvings around it. When the wind blew, the tree gently swayed, giving out intermittent, soul-captivating voices. Many figures were currently seated cross-legged under this ancient tree. At one glance, there was seemingly no end to the sea of people. This tree is clearly a communication and belief core. Then with a sudden jolt, the entire big tree radiated a dazzling cyan light, then transformed into endless red light, then endless black light, then endless blue light, and last of all, a dazzling golden light. Thereafter, the entire ancient tree was encircled by layers of apertures, 5 layers to be exact, so dazzling that the entire endless godly sector could see the tree in this glorious state. The numerous godly spirits, undying fighters, universe knights, and even universe masters originally seated, cross-legged under the tree, were all shocked and excited when they saw the 5-colored halo enveloping them in dense airflow. Some undying spirits immediately burst into loud sobs while others fell to their knees trembling in excitement. shouting Ancestor Tree. Ancestor Tree has shown its 5-colored halo. Ancestor will make his appearance soon. This reaction teaches the cultural weight of Ancestor East. Emperor, he is practically non-existent, almost never appearing, so his appearance is a religious event. Ancestor East Emperor is the supreme being of all living souls within the whole East Emperor Holy Land universe. Yet throughout endless years, he almost never appeared. Even many universe masters who lived through many rounds of reincarnations had never seen him in person, not to mention the world out of Universe Ocean. Beyond Universe Ocean, not a single great being had ever met this ancestor. This is why Ancestor is known as the first great being of Universe Ocean. However, when compared with the two Holy Land ancestors who had long transcended reincarnation, he is still a notch lower in mystery. Yet within his own universe, catching a glimpse is extremely difficult, and every time he appears, the Ancestor Tree displays this 5-colored halo. One universe master notes he has lived 82 reincarnation eras from birth until today, but never met Ancestor. So excited he forgets disciples and teleports to the tree. Another says the last time he met Ancestor was 119 reincarnation eras ago. All of endless godly sector falls into a crazy state. This is the heart of the most ancient Holy Land universe, the core of their pride. So proud they vaguely look down on Purple Moon Holy Land universe. And from size, one can tell East Emperor Ancestor is much more powerful than Purple Moon Ancestor. That size comparison is their absolute pride. Numerous streams of light gather at the bottom of Ancestor Tree. Countless great beings float in midair. Those who dare float are at least Universe Masters or Universe Supreme Masters. At one glance, close to 1,000 beings are in midair, scattered around, silently waiting in full deference for their almighty ancestor. An inexplicable voice sounds, intoxicating every great being present, including Universe Supreme Masters. Amidst strange music, an immensely dazzling figure appears out of thin air high in the sky. It wears a robe covered with countless green branches and leaves, radiating intensely hazy cyan light rich in vigor and life. The intense cyan-green light shines upon and envelops the hundreds of millions of great beings kneeling beneath, comforting them all. Instantly, those whose injured godly bodies were damaged are completely healed. This passive healing from mere light display shows a level of life mastery far beyond Universe Ocean. All living souls, regardless of whether undying or Universe Supreme Masters, give him full attention, then respectfully shout in unison, Ancestor. There is total silence as all look up with burning gazes. East Emperor looks down, his entire body bathed in intense cyan light that seems to obscure clarity. Even Universe Supreme Masters and hundreds of Universe Masters feel a supremely oppressive force, albeit invisible. He asks if it is true that within Universe Boat of the 3 most dangerous lands, there has been birth of an inheritance. The inheritance of Duandong River Wu. Several hundred Universe Masters and Supreme Masters reply in unison, yes. The news had only reached them a short while ago, and nothing inside the Holy Land universe could be hidden from East Emperor, showing his omniscience inside his own universe. He declares this Duandong River, Wu's inheritance, is a top-notch inheritance within that powerful ancient civilization. Then he gives a precise military order. His life. North True Star Master shall personally lead a team of 20 Universe Masters, 200 Universe Knights, and 2,000 undying fighters and head for Universe Boat at fastest speed, sending every member in to fight for inheritance. A man in a white robe immediately replies with deference, yes. North True Star Master is an extremely ancient being, a Universe Supreme Master whose status was attained as early as when he was in the Primal Universe era. He existed in the same era as East Emperor. Yet his miniature universe had fallen into decadence long ago, so he is based in the Holy Land universe for daily life. This explains why Holy Lands have Supreme Masters who never left. They failed their own reincarnation and now serve. East Emperor asks if there are any volunteers, noting the inheritance. Can only have one heir and the rest? Who fail will risk annihilation. Instantly, from the sea of great beings kneeling, a large number of Universe Knights and undying godly spirits volunteer, while among Universe Masters in mid-air, a dozen shout willingness. Their number is smaller because they are minority within Holy Land universe. This volunteer surge shows how fanatical loyalty overrides fear of death when Ancestor asks. East Emperor says to leave it to elders to discuss and finalize a detailed list. To finalize as fast as possible to head for Universe Boat quickly. With a force of 20 Universe Masters, 200 Universe Knights, and 2,000 Undying Fighters. They are going for that inheritance. His East Emperor universe must obtain it. He needs that inheritance. That final phrase, "I need that inheritance," instantly drives countless beings into feverish enthusiasm. Because when a transcended ancestor says he needs something, it means it can help even someone beyond reincarnation. All say yes in unison in one voice filled with excitement. It is merely a short moment, just enough for a cup of tea. North True Star Master is on board a dazzling, polygonal black sphere advancing at high speed within Universe Ocean. He notes he has not set foot in Universe Ocean for a good dozen reincarnation eras, and since making appearance now, he shall make sure to seize this inheritance for East Emperor Universe. On the same day when the news reaches Purple Moon Holy Land Universe, the equally mysterious Purple Moon ancestor also makes an appearance at long last, also giving orders to his clan to necessitate obtaining Duandong River's inheritance. His clan confirms understanding, noting this inheritance must belong to Purple Moon Holy Land, and Deerbug Master is already there, giving them greatest advantage. According to Ancestor's order, 500 Undying Fighters, 150 Knights, and 15 Universe Masters shall rush over as fast as possible, with Universe Supreme Masters able to rush quickly due to naturally fast speed. This shows Purple Moon sends slightly fewer but still massive force, relying on Deerbug Master's head start. The two Holy Land universes of the Divine Eye clan are very similar in strength. When compared, the result is even crazier. The avatars of the 7 true masters gather, discussing this as their only chance as doomsday nears. They must seize Duandong River's inheritance, the previous complete inheritance they obtained, compared to Duandong River's, shows vast difference in status. And from what Shadow Dust and Sorcerer Sprite reported, even after annihilation, the methods Duandong River put into motion after all these years to seek an heir are intimidating and frightening, indicating how powerful his inheritance will be. They suspect the inheritance is not restricted to only Universe Masters. Likely even Universe Knights and Universe Supreme Masters can be potential heirs. This deduction expands the candidate pool beyond what we saw in the corridor. 7th True Master volunteers, saying even if facing danger, he has his Palace Supreme True Treasure. And as a Universe Supreme Master, he does not believe Duandong River, who was annihilated endless eras ago, can leave a method deadly enough to kill him. First True Master nods slowly, saying he will go with 7th, instantly causing uproar. Others protest, saying First True Master cannot go, that if all fail, the mission of transcending reincarnation has to depend on him. First True Master is the most powerful great being of the entire Divine Eye clan. If he were annihilated, the clan would be in deep trouble. He sighs, saying, speaking of power, he is one notch lower than Ancestor, and even compared with Huge Axe Creator, he might at most be on par. But to achieve breakthrough of a reincarnation era, for countless eras only the ancestors of 2 Holy Land universes succeeded. He cannot even surpass Ancestor nor Huge Axe Creator. Who is he to think he can succeed in transcending? It is too difficult, and this time might be Divine Eye clan's very last chance. This honesty reveals the despair of first reincarnation era clans facing doomsday. Regardless, others say Divine Eye cannot be so reckless that 2nd and 7th will go with more Universe Masters and Knights. Soon arrangements are in place. Divine Eye clan sends 2nd True Master and 7th True Master leading a team of 20 Universe Masters and 100 Universe Knights for the inheritance, headed for Universe Boat. To them, this has become a desperate fight arising from jealousy over superiority. Groups of powers are indeed going crazy for the inheritance, especially first reincarnation era, as they face impending doomsday. Second reincarnation era and primal universe also covet it. This is what the line "a man who does not have foresight will find worry right at doorstep" means. This so-called Duandong River's inheritance, if missed this time, would likely not reappear again for at least next few reincarnation eras. If the various groups knew that, ancestors of 2 Holy Land universes had made appearances just to give orders for this inheritance, it would probably drive nearly 100 groups of powers from 3 great reincarnation eras into even higher state of fervor, showing the skeleton. Clan's leak strategy has fully succeeded in creating universal chaos. The outside world is wild with enthusiasm, but inside the life and death corridor within the boat of Mausoleum, silence prevails. This contrast is intentional. External chaos makes internal focus harder. Testing mental isolation. Deer Bug Master, Luo Feng Shadow Dust Master, and Sorcerer Sprite Master carefully fly along the corridor at reduced speed. By the time Luo Feng receives news from his race, Deer Bug Master, Shadow Dust Master, and Sorcerer Sprite Master had already learned of it much earlier. This shows the great importance, races attached to the event, and the speed difference of intelligence networks. Purple Moon Ancestor showed up to have a face-to-face conversation with Deer Bug Master's other body personally. How honorable is that? At that moment, Deer Bug Master has the highest probability of becoming the greatest hero of Purple Moon Holy Land universe. That direct ancestor contact is not just honor, it is pressure. He now carries the expectation of an entire Holy Land. The 7 true masters earnestly implore Shadow Dust Master and Sorcerer Sprite Master to do their utmost best, promising that 2nd True Master and 7th True Master will lead a big team of Universe Masters to render support. This promise transforms 2 isolated candidates into forward scouts for a massive reinforcement army. Shadow Witch couple go berserk, deciding to go all out for the slightest chance for survival. Deer Bug Master is also going crazy from glory, thinking this might be the most glorious moment of his life and he must do his best. Luo Feng, meanwhile, feels magnanimous passion, noting the human race is weaker, number of great beings limited, cannot compare in head count. So he shall depend on himself and his own capability. This difference in motivation, glory for holy lands, survival for first reincarnation era, self-reliance for primal universe humans, predicts their endurance. The 4 great beings fly together, occasionally gazes meeting, eyes filled with enmity. That enmity is logical because inheritance allows only one heir. As they fly ahead, the corridor widens and surroundings get brighter. Gradually, stone pillars appear on either side. On every stone pillar, there are virtual shadows of different forms. Square shadows, pyramidal shadows, polygonal shadows. Every pillar has one virtual shadow. Those on the left side have shadows compacted together. Within these shadows, there are 1,000 different kinds of ripples. The stone pillars on the right side have shadows, loosely scattered and just barely able to form a skeletal frame. On the left, total 123 stone pillars. On the right, total 1080 stone pillars. While flying, the 4 wear expressions filled with doubts, flying slowly and carefully observing the 3-dimensional virtual shadows. These shadows are immensely huge with innumerable ripples inside. The 3-dimensional virtual shadows on a 123 pillars on the left correspond nicely to the first 123 on the right. On the left, shadows are compact and complete, well-structured, like the Great Wall of China. On the right, only a skeletal frame remains, as though many bricks of the Great Wall had been taken out, causing the structure to become so shaky it would fall apart. Every virtual shadow has a variety of colors, emitting thousands of light rays. Inside the entire corridor, it is dazzlingly beautiful like paradise. The foursome advances together and arrives at the end in front of the 10,080th stone pillar on the right. All light gathers to give form to a figure, Duandong River. Shadow Dust Master and Sorcerer Sprite Master are first to bow and pay respects, saying, "My lord." This prompts Deer Bug Master and Luo Feng to also bow. Yet Duandong River does not pay attention to surroundings, his gaze falling upon the various 3-dimensional virtual shadows, held down by numerous pillars. Then with a sigh asking, "Do you all see it?" Shadow Dust Master replies first, saying there is total 123 shadows on left, 10,080 on right. Left side perfect without flaws, seeming to contain certain mysteries about secret techniques, while those on right are imperfect. Deer Bug Master adds that first 123 virtual shadows on right happen to correspond with 123 on left. This observation skill, comparing perfect versus imperfect sets, is exactly what the game tests. Duandong River confirms, looking at dazzling shadows radiating millions of light rays, tears welling in eyes, blurring vision as he whispers, "This is my hometown, and this was the most popular form of entertainment during the time of my civilization." also a method for cultivating and training comprehension. Any major group or power, unique inheritance, would frequently utilize it when they needed to test comprehension capability of candidates. This is called Rhinoceros Emperor Game. The four listen intently. He explains Rhinoceros Emperor Game was created by an ancient strong being, Rhinoceros Emperor before he was annihilated, who put his best effort into creating it. His lifetime can be said to be sorrowful, a true hero. But in the end, nevertheless, the game was remembered by all great beings of his civilization. Of course, his powers were much stronger than Duandong River's. After annihilation, the game spread to masses. In early stage, countless great beings merely took it as entertainment. Later, they discovered it was extremely demanding on comprehension level, and often studying it was beneficial in increasing comprehension level. In his civilization, be it someone as young as a child just born, or someone as high up as supreme existence, all enjoyed this game. This evolution from entertainment to cultivation tool explains why a game can test future potential. It forces structural thinking, not memorization. He continues that for the game. There is total 10,081 types of basic endgames. Right side has 10,080 endgames. As for so-called 10,080 first endgame, it is the scoreless game. And left side will be perfectly decoded games. Once you have supplemented first 123 endgames and brought them to completion, you will have found the solution. All four nod to indicate understanding. He instructs to study first 123 decoding methods, saying they should be able to find out its basic secret rules. If they cannot even comprehend basic secret rules, then comprehension level is much too low. Once completed, they can proceed to decoding. Solve first 124 endgames on the left. When you reach 125th endgame, you will be able to find the solution. He will give longer time. They should do best in decoding. Once time limit is up, if cannot even meet most basic requirements, they will be eliminated. And of course, in this round of elimination, they will certainly face annihilation. This sets two thresholds: basic rules, comprehension, then applied solving. The four are taken aback by annihilation. Duandong River clarifies they have yet to truly come in contact with inheritance, only after decoding to a level that meets minimum requirement and arriving. At next big hall, can they start to get in contact? If they have yet to come into contact, then of course there is no need for total elimination of soul. Even if annihilated, it will just be current godly bodies destroyed. If they have other bodies, they still survive. He informs them straightforwardly, then adds, however, moment they start to get into contact with inheritance, as there can only be one heir, rest will face complete annihilation of soul. This distinction between body annihilation now versus soul annihilation later raises stakes. Current failure is survivable via clones. Future failure is final. He points afar and commands rise. Ground in middle of corridor vibrates and cracks apart, and four light pillars radiating colorful light emerge. These four pillars belong to four of them. Once they have comprehended secret rules, they can start decoding up to 124th stage. When completed, use godly power to draw outline and transmit within crystal pillar. If decoding successful, crystal pillar will prompt, if not, no reaction. This feedback system provides instant verification without master intervention. He says they may have long time, but it is limited. Within limited time, whoever can decode up to 6,000 stone pillars will receive inheritance from one pulse of Duandong River. Of course, to be able to decode 6,000, this person is bound to have bright future, and success achievable may be even greater than his. But he guesses none here will achieve that yet. Just try to meet basic requirement within limited time for now. One who can decode most at end will gain upper hand when it comes to inheritance. His gaze sweeps across four including Luo Feng, then he vanishes. Duandong River disappears, and in this spacious corridor, there are 123 three-dimensional virtual shadows on left and 10,080 on right. The four feel intangible pressure. Shadow Dust Master whispers, this is a game, entertainment. Can't believe Duandong River chose them only to use this game to test. Dear Bug Master says in cold voice, you fool, you really take this as a game. Weren't you listening? That ancient civilization. From younger generations to supreme. Masters, almost everyone like this. Rhinoceros Emperor Game. Besides, so long as able to decode up to 6,000th stage, may be destined for achievements greater than Duandong River Wu. That would be same as saying breaking through reincarnation eras will be easy feat. The hearts of Shadow Dust Master, Sorcerer Sprite Master, and Luo Feng burn with passion, breaking through a reincarnation era, enabling own clan to attain eternal existence. There is no greater glory. Luo Feng hopes silently let my human race exist for eternity. Dear Bug Master shares same fervent wish. Thinking Purple Moon Ancestor regards this with such importance. He has long transcended reincarnation eras and his power is incomparably powerful. If he holds inheritance in such high regard, then inheritance is apparently extremely important. He wants to see this so-called game and find how impressive it is, not believing he is unable to decode up to 6,000th level. The hearts of great beings burn with passion. Shadow Dust Master, Sorcerer Sprite Master, and Deerbug Master are self-proclaimed universe masters. Their conscious minds able to revolve at extreme speeds. Extremely scary, as in a mere second countless thoughts race. Naturally, they have what it takes to gain upper hand in game. Luo Feng does not lose out in mastering game. He tells himself he is extremely accomplished in decoding diagrams of secret engravings. This diagram of secret engravings and Rhinoceros Emperor Game are both three-dimensional, so at one look one can see various secret engravings. These two have common point, and even though he left space of black-striped stone pillars many hundreds of years ago, his consciousness has remained with black-striped stone pillars to work on comprehension of laws and studying secret engravings. With time velocity faster by 3,000 times, his achievement in studies of secret engravings is now much higher than before. This past training in the black-striped pillars is his hidden advantage for this game. In Purple Moon Holy Land universe, Dear Bugmaster's other body looks up at vast sky respectfully, saying he is comprehending method of ancient civilization. Used for testing comprehension, Rhinoceros Emperor Game will need to decode enough stages within limited period. So now what he needs is space where time velocity is extremely fast. Purple Moon Ancestor knows everything within Holy Land universe. A gentle voice says, I know that game. It is very difficult and profound, you must give best. I will send this body to Circle of Time where time velocity can be maintained at 10,000 times. Your true body will stay here in universe. Boat to observe while consciousness can remain in Circle of Time to continue comprehending. This time acceleration tactic shows how Holy Lands leverage home field time control to gain comprehension advantage. Sorcerer Sprite Master and Shadow Dust Master also go to plead with First True Master. Within Miniature Universe, a part of space where time velocity is extremely fast can also be set up. That is where their other bodies are planted. Once he learned of situation Luo Feng was caught in, Primal Chaos City leader cannot be bothered about anything else. He says, hurry. Your remote ocean body has to head for Huge Axe, Creator's Miniature Universe as fast as possible. Teacher Origin has been suppressed for eternity, preventing Primal Universe from maintaining perfect acceleration rate. In Huge Axe's Miniature Universe, a space can be set up to allow maintaining acceleration rate of 10,000 times. Primal Chaos City leader personally retrieves Luo Feng's new remote ocean body and heads for Huge Axe Creator's Universe. This mirrors Purple Moon's move, showing all three factions, Holy Land, First Reincarnation Era, and Primal Universe humans simultaneously reach same conclusion. The Rhinoceros Emperor Game is a time-based comprehension. Battle and time acceleration is the only way to win.